Vanakkam. Uh, Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about a recent, very highly controversial issue, which is of allowing Zakir Naik, a controversial character in himself, to stay on in the country. And this is causing division among our people. I think we need to understand it in ways that is not currently being articulated, but which we think is real, You see, today the way the issue is going, Zakir Naik is being made a hero. But in our opinion, he is just a tool, a pawn, that is being made use of by various elites of various countries to which he has, or which have some relationship with him. If you take, for instance, now Malaysia, okay, if you ask, do we really need him in Malaysia Baru now? Given the fact that we've just come away from bigotry, or so we think, but do we really need him in Malaysia Baru? Now, if the question is, if he is really not needed in Malaysia Baru, but he still continues to get support to stay in Malaysia Baru, then there's somebody benefiting from it that wants to protect him and to allow him to continue staying in our country. But why may this be so? I mean, he may be very erudite, very learned, in Quran, in Hadith, but if he is continuing to be a source of division among our people, we don't need him. We can, send him out quite, tactfully, amicably, saying that, thank you, Mr. Zakir Naik, but, we have issues with what you are saying. Maybe send him, on that basis, not in not in an inimical way, but in a practical way, saying that, what he preaches may be good on one count, but then it causes division within our country, and we are trying to actually go away from that and create unity among our people. So in Malaysia Baru, when we don't need him, we have to be able to say that clearly. But no, there are still elements within our country, within the elite of our country, which want to keep him here for reasons of their self-preservation, because they don't want to be seen to be anti-Islam, because that's one of the things that the current politics, UMNO politics, UMNO politicians, they are making out that the Malays who have joined the opposition now are anti-Islam. So for that interest, okay, they allow him to, the current regime allows him to help them maintain that pro-Islam image. So in Malaysia, this is the story. Now, India can very well come outright and say, yes, send him back. But maybe they're not doing it. There are, we hear, there are, media, here and there is saying that, the Malaysian police have been contacted to have him extradited. And then we hear a spokesman coming and saying, we are working on it, there's discussion going on. There's nothing unequivocally, clearly stated about, okay, get him back to, extradite him to India, put him to the courts there, and let him be judged by the courts there. And if indeed he is guilty of doing whatever they say, money laundering and, extremist activities, okay, let the courts decide that. But I think with the elections coming next year, maybe the elite there don't want to disturb the status quo there, because they may need, they don't want to alienate the Muslims in India. So the elite of India now look at Zakir Naik as, okay, he's out of the country, well and good, let him be in Malaysia. If he's creating trouble for Malaysia, well, Malaysia, you deal with it. So in that sense, India is actually quite happy to have him here. Then Saudi Arabia, you can say, he's also a permanent resident of Saudi Arabia. he could leave Malaysia, where there's so much, dissension about his being here, and go to Saudi Arabia. Why doesn't he go there? But that's not his charter, as we, if you look at the way things work, that's not his charter with the Saudis. The Saudis would like him to go around, in these Islamic regions and preach and, keep their influence, Saudi influence, current in all these places. So he continues to preach their brand, Salafism, an extreme of their brand of Islam, Salafism. And so it doesn't make sense for him to go back to Saudi Arabia, right? So, in our opinion, he is not a hero. He is just a tool for the Malaysian elite, a tool for the Indian elite, and a tool for the Saudi elite to maintain their status quo in each of their countries. In our opinion, what I think needs to happen is for him to be anyway sent out of the country, but in a positive, good way, sent back to Saudi Arabia, where he will not be persecuted, which is what he's saying. If he's sent back to India, he'll be persecuted. So go back to Saudi Arabia. That's one clear option that's available. The other is for the Indian government to come out, very clearly and say, yes, send him back, extradite him, and put him to the courts in India, so that the veracity of his crimes can be tested in the courts. And for Malaysia, we don't need in Malaysia Baru, and I think it behooves Tun Dr. Mahathir to listen to the voices of the people, without regard to other needs or other influences from the elite, right? I think it can very easily be done positively, him sent to Saudi Arabia. So Malaysian government should actually seek to do just that. This is what we feel is the right thing to do under the circumstances. Thank you.